Welcome to the Human Journey channel, where we'll be looking into the ancient history of mankind. We will also be covering subjects on myths, conspiracy theories, unexplained stories that have captivated the human mind for millennia. Please like, subscribe, and share. One of the most famous megalithic structures on the planet is that of Stonehenge on Salisbury Plain in England. Now what we're going to do today, we're going to look at 10 facts that you might not know about Stonehenge. So fact number 1, Stonehenge was once sold for £6,600. Now in the early 1900s, a man called Edmund Antipas, he charged admission fees to go and see Stonehenge. Then he sold Stonehenge for £6,600 to a barrister, Cecil Chubb. Now £6,600 doesn't sound like a lot, but today it would be about £600,000. Apparently Cecil Chubb, being the romantic that he was, bought Stonehenge as a gift for his wife. However, his wife clearly wasn't as romantic as him, because after 3 years she didn't want it, and so Cecil Chubb sold it to the British government. Fact number 2. The area of Stonehenge was used as a burial site, a huge graveyard. Bones have been found in and around Stonehenge, and those bones belong to at least 100 different people from the Neolithic and Copper Ages, so about 10,000 to 3,000 years ago. Interestingly, these people who were buried at Stonehenge were of high rank, or as we would say, the upper class. But what's even more intriguing about these bones is that these people were from all over the world. And so obviously news had spread about Stonehenge all over the world and was obviously considered a very sacred site. Also, the people buried there were almost half men and half women, so equality with the sexes was clearly visible in our ancient past. Fact number 3. Up until approximately the 17th century, it was believed that Stonehenge was built by Merlin the wizard. In the 12th century, Geoffrey of Monmouth described Merlin, in his book Historia Regum Britanniae, as magically collecting the stones from Mount Killarus in Ireland, where then he sailed back to England and built Stonehenge for a place to bury Britain's dead princes. Fact number 4. Stonehenge is sinking into the earth. Actually, what is happening is the earth beneath Stonehenge is rising. How? By earthworms. Charles Darwin discovered that as earthworms feed on the soil and then excrete above the earth, causing small mounds, the soil was rising by about 0.2 inches per year. This seems insignificant, but over the next 2,000 years or so, we could lose Stonehenge to the earth if not preserved by us. Fact number 5. Some of the stones came from about 140 miles away from the Stonehenge site. Even though the iconic sarsen stones were sourced locally, the blue stones, or the smaller stones, were brought from the Preseli Mountains in Wales. It is believed that the stones were brought by boat across the Bristol Channel to England, and possibly transported either by land or continue to be brought by boat across the waterways of the West Country of England. They possibly used the River Avon, as the River Avon flows all the way from Bristol and passes very close to Stonehenge. This theory actually has evidence, as blue stones have been discovered on Steepholm Island, which is on the route in the Bristol Channel. However, why they would go through so much effort to bring stones from so far away remains a mystery, along with the real reason why Stonehenge was constructed in the first place. Fact number 6. Stonehenge is one part of a huge ceremonial complex. In this picture you can see Stonehenge in the centre, but we have a processional avenue, cursus, Woodhenge and Durrington walls. All of these places played a part in the sacred worship held at Stonehenge. Also notice these circles and lines. These are barrows. Some are round, some are long. These are basically the graves of the elite class, as we mentioned earlier. Clearly we can see the whole area of Stonehenge was considered sacred. Fact number 7. Stonehenge may have been based on the size of the earth. The diameter of Stonehenge is 79 foot 20 inches. And when we times that by 100 and turn that into miles, it is approximately the same size as the diameter of the earth. Is that a coincidence? Could be. But consider that Stonehenge was used for looking at the heavens and the cycles of the sun and the moon. It would make sense to have this observatory to some kind of scale. But if this is the case, and Stonehenge is to the scale of the earth, how did they know the size of the earth in the first place? Fact number 8. The stones weigh between 4 tons and 30 tons. The blue stones or smaller stones were about 4 tons, and the larger sarsen stones are up to about 30 tons. What's interesting about the sarsen trilithon structures is that they are held together with a ball and socket joint to keep them in place. Now, how they managed to carve out these joints in the first place and then raise these megaton blocks some 20 or 30 feet into the air and set them on the ball and socket joint is still a mystery. Fact number 9. Stonehenge was constructed over a period of 1,500 years, between 5,000 and 3,500 years ago. Even though the area of Stonehenge on the Salisbury Plain has been viewed as sacred for over 10,000 years, the construction of the megalithic structure that we call Stonehenge took place around 5 to 3,500 years ago. It was constructed in 3 to 4 stages by different groups of people over 1,500 years. Fact number 10. Stonehenge is not actually a henge. A henge is a Neolithic structure consisting of a circular area enclosed by a bank and a ditch within the bank. Usually it contains some sort of wooden structure or stone structure. Stonehenge is the most famous henge in the world. However, it has a ditch outside the bank. Technically then, Stonehenge is not actually a henge. Anyway, those are just 10 facts I thought were interesting and I thought you might enjoy. So please, obviously watch, share and subscribe. And again, thanks for watching.